Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to talk today about my new SUVA Beauty palettes. This is actually two palettes that I put into one of the Makeup Forever medium-sized palettes. This top one here is called the Hustle, and these bottom two rows here, they are the Neutral Necessities. So I just wanted to do a couple of swatches of them so everybody could see kind of like what the colors looked like and how pigmented they were. And if you see like this light that's kind of shining, I know one is like, it hits my forehead if I move in to a certain point. It's my window right behind the computer, and I promise I'm not super oily, it just looks that way. And so hopefully the lighting is better today. That is pretty true to color. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the Hustle. Let's see here. I don't even think I can take these pans out. They fit. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, so this first one here is a little bit shimmery. It's called Empire State, and this is from the Hustle palette. There you have it. And it is, these are really buttery and really pigmented. You can like barely see it on me because I'm just so pale, but it is pretty shimmery and it is very pretty. Okay, on to this next one here. In there. Alright. This one doesn't even have a name on it. You know, I can't even remember what color this was. But, This is the next one from the Hustle. This is kind of like I guess you could call it more of a bronzy color. Alrighty. There you have it on that finger. See, that one shows it pretty well. Alrighty. Okay, so apparently these two here don't have the color names on them, and I can't for the life of me remember what this is. This one is a brown one though, and it's also a shimmery, sort of sparkly kind of color. And there's that one. Now, SUVA Beauty is actually based in Canada, and I believe their store is out of Surrey, which is in British Columbia. Okay, this is called the 6. That's the one I do remember. And that one is basically just straight up gold. Now, I did wear the 6. Oh, there we go. I did wear the 6 yesterday. It's really hard. It's really hard to tell what color that is. Video, but I did wear this color yesterday, and I did find that it's actually much easier to apply whenever you do it with your fingers rather than a brush. The brush doesn't pick up the pigment like this as well as your finger does. So I'm just going to show you with this brown one here. So these ones don't need primer at all. They're super pigmented. Now, I'm just going to show you. See, it doesn't show up very well whenever you're just doing the brush. I'm not sure why that is. Even if I wore primer, it just doesn't. And then that's going to be the finger that I used earlier. And there's still some on there. So it's much better whenever you apply it with your fingers for at least these shimmery shades. As for the matte ones, these ones go on super duper well with the brushes. Alright, I'm just going to wipe off this really quick because I've got 8 colors here and only 4 good fingers for swatching. Alright, so this first one is a white shade. Let's see, there's no color name on there, but it is from the Neutral Necessities palette, and this is like a stark white. This is the whitest white. Okay. And that one does show up on me as well, which is nice because this Empire State doesn't show up too well on my wrist at least, but it does have a shimmery sort of look to it. Okay. On to this next one. Now I know that this one is called Turkish Bath. It's kind of a pinky brown, really light pinky brown. And it's really pretty. So the whole reason why I ended up buying 2 palettes instead of just building one, I really wanted to get Turkish Bath, Empire State, and I think the 6. And those 3 were actually sold out for individual shades, but they had them all in the palettes. And to build your own palette, it was like $80-something at the IMATS. but to buy 2 palettes, it was also $80-something, so I was getting more bang for my buck, basically. Alright, so there's Turkish Bath. Alright, this next one is kind of like a salmon pink color. Again, it doesn't have the name on it. That's the color there. And now these are all matte finish. And this is a great matte palette. Everyone needs a really good neutral matte palette. So there's that color there. Alright, so this next one, while it is in the matte palette, it actually has a little bit of a glitter finish to it. I don't know if that's... let me see if I can angle this camera. Nope, that just made it worse. Okay, so this one has a little bit of glitter to it. It's definitely not as shimmery as the ones from the Hustle, but it's by no means matte. So this would be good for like a brow highlight. Alright. Now one thing I will say is that if you end up getting one of these, do not touch wet fingers to it or oily fingers to it. It really does soak up the oils in your skin. And that's probably why you don't need a primer. So there's that one. Almost really similar to this white one up here, but it's a little bit more of my flesh color. But so as I was saying about touching them with wet fingers, whenever I was at the IMATS, a lot of people were swatching them, and the 6 actually had gotten hard panned so quickly that whenever you were touching it and trying to test it out, nothing was coming out. And that was because everyone had been touching it all day, and you know, people, or they always have a makeup remover wipe and they're trying to get it off, and they go to touch it, and then it gets those oils and all that gunk that's on the makeup remover cloth. So what I've actually been doing is I clean my hands off, wipe it on a towel, and once it's dry, and then I'll move on to the next one. So this next pan is just pure black. And this one I haven't even touched yet. So that is black. Okay. There we go. So that's with one swipe there. Trying to get it more into the camera. Okay. Alright, this next one is a brown color, and it's kind of like a more of a red brown. It's not too red, but it's also not a cool brown, so it's definitely more of a warm toned brown. This one I also used yesterday along with the 6. Oh my, I am getting that. Let's see, let's get it over here a little bit. There we go. Alright, so there's that one. Kind of getting them all over the place here. Alright, this next one is a really pretty like cranberry shade. And I love this color. I'm going to have to do a look with this real soon. That is gorgeous. Alright, let's just do it on the back of my hand here. And this one is a really bright, kind of like magenta-y color. Is that for you? And then lastly, there's this, it's a lighter warm brown. It's really similar to the last warm brown that we had. Let me pull that one out for you. It's similar to it. This one's deeper, obviously, and that one's going to be the lighter tone ones. It's going to be good for the fair-skinned folks like myself. And there's that one. So there you have it. Those are all the ones. You know, I wish I did a little bit better job at that. But those are all the ones from the Neutral Necessities and the Hustle palette. I would definitely recommend trying those out if you have an opportunity to find them and get them and order them. Some of my favorite shadows. You know, I've tried Urban Decay shadows, Kat Von D, Smashbox, Too Faced, all that. You know, I've tried the big brands that are at Sephora and Ulta and stuff, and I really seem to like this palette along with the Viseart, whatever you call that palette. I personally really like those ones quite a bit. I don't find myself using my Kat Von D palette as much anymore since I've gotten this SUVA Beauty palette along with the Viseart palette. They're both really good matte shades, and they're very versatile for different skin tones. Of course, the SUVA Beauty palette can be used with primers, so that is also a great option. So on top of the palette, let me just pull out these other few things that I have from SUVA Beauty. Now, 3 of these I got at the IMATS, and 1 I ordered long before I even knew that they were going to be at the IMATS. So these are Hydra cream bases. You put these down on your eyelids or wherever before you use the eyeshadows, and it just gives you a nice neutral surface to do your eye makeup. Now, they have them in neutral colors, like this kind of skin tone fleshy color, and white. Now they also come in blues and reds and yellows, and they are crazy pigmented. If you look on their website or on their Instagram, these people, they have like a little, just a finger of it, and they will draw that thing all the way down their arm. Let's see if I'm gonna do it with the white one, because then you'll be able to see better on my skin than this kind of fleshy color. Alright, now I'm not going to use a whole lot because I like this. I don't want to waste it. Alright, so I'm not even like rubbing it in there. I'm just dabbing my finger. So I'm hardly using any at all. And this stuff is awesome. Now that's with barely any. You know, I mean, if I'm really going to be using a ton of this, it'll go a long way. But you don't need much, because that's going to help the color stick a whole lot better. Let's see if I have any in the brown on there. So already the brown is sticking better to this Hydra cream base. You can see a little bit there. But I really like this base. Yesterday I ended up using the white one called Bank, and I just put that all over my eyes before I did my eyeshadow. Now I also blended it out so it didn't look white, so it looked kind of more like my skin tone, maybe just with like a little brow highlight, and it ended up looking really, really nice. So there's those 2 Hydra cream bases. Then I have this Hydra liner. I actually have 2 Hydra liners from SUVA Beauty. I'm going to start with this first one. It's called Rose Gold, and it's a pinky gold color, just as you would expect. And now these are solids, completely solid, you know, there's nothing on my finger there. And what you do is you mix a little bit of water in there. Once you mix the water, it's going to turn into like a creamy paste sort of thing, and if you mix more water in there, you thin it out some more, you can actually use it with an airbrush, which is nice because I have a Dine Air airbrush, and I really want to get some more airbrush colors, but I also just don't have the time to sit there and really practice my airbrush because it's still really new to me, and I'm still trying to figure out everything. You know, I have all this other makeup that, you know, I want to do all that, and I want to play with all that, and then it's just hard for me to just sit there and force myself to play with my airbrush. I've done it a few times. It is really tricky whenever you're starting out, but what I really like about this is that it can be used with regular makeup, and it can be used with an airbrush. So that's what I love about it, and it's still going to have that gorgeous peachy gold color to it. And the same goes with this one. So this is a white, but it's not totally a white. So it's called Icing, and this is actually one of their UV colors. So it like glows under black light. And again, it's solid. I've used it once, as you can tell, and I used hardly any of it. Hardly any. And what I did was I used one of my like little angled brushes, like this one here, and I mixed some of the color in there, and what I had done was I put a black wing, and then I put this around the black wing, and I was actually going to do laser tag, and it was awesome that I had this because, you know, the black light's in laser tag, and it really just made my eyes pop and glow under the light. The only downside is, if you get this, I recommend getting like a little mini black light so you can check your face before you walk out of the house with this, especially if you're like going to a club or going somewhere where they have the black lights, because, you know, you're wiping it off, you think it's all gone off of you, especially if you're pale like me, and then the black lights hit and you don't realize you got it all over your face. You got it all over your hands. Because, you know, you're trying to clean up the little corners and everything, and you don't realize that you're getting it on your hands because it thins out so much. So I had like little splotches here and there, and I had it all over my hands. I was wondering why my hands were glowing. It was because I had little remnants of this stuff all over my hands. Other than that, though, it's an amazing product, and I absolutely love both of these. The fact that I can use so little and get such a good pigment off of them is amazing. So if you have a chance to order from SUVA Beauty or see them and be able to touch them in person, I would absolutely recommend it. These two palettes are amazing. I know just like maybe 2 days ago, they got both of these back in stock on their website, and they had been totally sold out. I mean, look at those colors. They should be sold out because they're great. I would recommend getting both of them, and it's also nice that you can take both of the palettes out and fit them into this medium size Makeup Forever empty palette. So it's just really nice, so you don't have to carry around the big clunky SUVA Beauty palettes. Like, they're normally like this big for the larger one that has 8, and a little square for the one that has 4. So it's just nice that you can kind of condense it all into the Makeup Forever palette. So that's all I got for today. So if you have any questions about SUVA Beauty or about any of the products that I got at IMATS, just go ahead and comment below, and I can either do another video or just answer the questions in the comments. So thanks for watching. Bye.